Hey everyone, and welcome to another special edition of MASL Midweek. A special edition because in this episode, I will be talking all about the Central Cup that is, of course, starting this weekend and will feature 4 teams between the MASL and M2. Those teams are, of course, the Wichita Wings, the Kansas City Comets, the St. Louis Ambush, and the Dallas Sidekicks. Now, my understanding of this tournament is there's not going to be any kind of championship game or playoff bracket at the end of it. Just whoever has the best record after all the teams have played amongst each other will be crowned the champion. Basically just a round-robin tournament with no kind of championship game. So what I will do in this video is predict what the final standings will be from the Central Cup. I'll start with the bottom team and work my way up to my predicted winner. Now, I will say this is going to be kind of tough because we don't know for sure what the rosters are going to look for any of these teams. It's basically a new season, which always throws a wrench into things. And it's, the middle of a pandemic. So who knows what players might opt out of playing. But I'm going to take my best guess and go off of that. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the team that I think will finish at the bottom, and I'm sympathizing with that team by wearing their t-shirt. I think the Sidekicks will finish in last place. The Sidekicks definitely had some glimpses of hope last year, but that's all they really amounted to, just glimpses. This team, to me, didn't really look like a team that was going places, looked like a team that was kind of stuck at the bottom. I think that pattern will continue into this tournament, and I just don't see them going very far. I definitely see them finishing at the bottom. Moving on to my number 3 team, and this is where things start to get tough because I have 2 teams in mind that I think will finish in 2nd and 3rd place. It's just the order that I'm not so sure about. I think they could be flip-flopped. Either way wouldn't surprise me that much. But I thought about it a little bit, and I went back and forth a few times, but eventually I decided on an order that I'm pretty confident in. But as I said, I would by no means be shocked if my number 2 and number 3 teams were flip-flopped. So, without further ado, my pick for number 3, the Wichita Wings. The Wings showed a lot of promise in their inaugural season last year in M2. They were dominating a lot of those games. They also had some really nice signings, including Eduardo Monreal, as well as Nathan Clark. So this team to me is looking pretty good. Honestly, I think they could compete in the MASL without that many difficulties. I'm just not sure if they're quite there yet to take over that 2nd place team. And that 2nd place team, for me, is the Kansas City Comets. This team definitely suffered from inconsistency last year, and I kind of expect them to continue that this season. But that being said, when this team is playing well, they're playing well. I mean, they beat Utica City in Utica last year. This offseason, they retained some really good players, such as Sosa, and they brought in some new blood as well. So I think this team will be good enough to beat out the Wings and get that 2nd place spot. But as I said, the Wings are a formidable side as well, and it wouldn't surprise me if they took over the Comets. But for now, I'm picking the Comets to have that 2nd place spot. Which of course leaves my 1st place team and the champion of the Central Cup being the St. Louis Ambush. I had to pick St. Louis for this. St. Louis was a team that took an enormous step forward last year after having so many years where they just couldn't get things going. They looked great last year, and they look like a team that's going to continue improving. Their biggest signing this offseason was, of course, Max Ferdinand. So for me, it was an easy pick to pick them to win the Central Cup, and I think they're going to do so fairly easily. It would not surprise me if St. Louis won every one of their games in this tournament. Not sure if that will actually happen, but I think it's well within the realm of possibility. So there you have it. My final standings: St. Louis, Kansas City, Wichita, and Dallas. Of course, I could be wrong, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead in the comments, leave what you think will be the final standings in the Central Cup. And while you're here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like, and I will see you next time.